Hey there. I figured I would do a video on the setup of your vendor directory that you're going to have on your site. Excuse me, sorry. Um, Much easier than back and forth emails, even a phone call, because you can forget it. But here you have a video. You can at least watch the video, at your own pace, that kind of thing. It's probably going to be a good 7 to 12 minutes in length. This is a lot to go over. I'm not going to cover everything to kind of cut that time down, but I am going to kind of cover as much as I think you need to get up and going. All right. So first thing I want to show you is the front end, and then I'll go to the back end, and hopefully that will make sense. Right now, I'm on what's called the vendor categories page. It's not in your main menu. You're going to have to set that up. You're going to have to put it where you want it, whether it's in the main menu bar or drop down or some other way to get it. That's entirely up to you. But right now, this is where we're at, vendors categories, and this would be your default listing. So if your categories were photography, wedding cakes, wedding dresses, whatever, venues, rehearsals, whatever the case may be. This is where they would line up. And so what you see is, right now, there's only one category, and that's photography. I just set this one up for testing purposes. And you set up the categories for this on your own end, in the back end, under this section called vendors. And if I roll over it, I'll see vendor categories. And this is all we have right now is one. So if you're going to add one, you could choose your picture. It could be a thumbnail. It could be a logo or something. Give it your category name. So let's just call this, let's see, cake bakers. I don't know what they're called, but cake bakers. And then, let's see, I'll give it upload an image. I can choose my order. See the order here. I'll put it for 2. Add a new category. Don't worry about this. This is some kind of weird thing that WordPress does. We refresh, we should be okay. Okay, and it's still there. All right, I'll fix that. So by the end of the day tomorrow, that should be gone. So ignore that. Apparently, that's a little bit of an issue. Sometimes this will show up, and then with a refresh, it goes away. It might be because we just, I think you either did it on your own or I did, but we updated to the most recent version of WordPress, and sometimes this happens when we do an update. So I'll take care of that. Don't worry about it too much. All right. So now we have another category. So actually, look, I made 2 by a mistake. That's weird. Let me get rid of that one. All right, gone. Okay. Now, if I come back to the front end, I want to show you let me rephrase that. If I refresh, you think we're going to have 2 categories, right? Wrong, we're not. Why don't we have one? Because even though you've made 2 categories, 5 categories, 25 categories, they only appear if there's a vendor for that category. It wouldn't make sense if you had categories and they were empty. So even though we have 2, we only see 1 because photography is the only one that actually has a vendor in it. Okay, so if I come back to the front end and I click this category, I'll see the full listing of vendors under here. Right now I just have a generic ugly looking logo in there and some basic information. That's just for testing, and you can come in here and you can delete these out. But then you have your list, and if we click it, now what we get is the person's profile. So you get their logo, their information if they want to have it in there, their little default gallery, and their description text. All right, and it's all based on, all based on what they fill out. Here's the other one. You'll see has much less info because that's all that I filled out. So it's really up to them on their end how much information they're going to put in there. And where you can see that is this is the account. This is what happens if I log in. So let me actually log out. If I can find the I can't remember what the login is. You're going to need this too. I'm going to try to include all these links so you know where they are. So when you set up the site, you can do that. So here's the login page. So we can also register. Here's where they would register. And then here's the login. And then when I log in, we have a message. You can put a default message in here. I'll go over that later. But right now, this has a generic message that you obviously want to change out. Here's how long the profile is active for. And then we have a basic menu on the right. We're at the overview. You could do your account link. It's going to show you how to change your password. Here's your profile. And this is the portion I was talking about right here, where what you actually can upload or change or update. That's on the business profile, and then what you'll see is the category. So if I chose cake bakers, now that vendor is going to show up. Okay, here's what they do: their business URL, their logos. Basically, it's just a field of information. So, information fields. Their logos, their location, their description, and then they can upload their images, which you see right here, where they can add their photos. Pretty self-explanatory. They have to fill it out, and then hit save. And then once they do that, it updates the information on the front end, right here. So, for instance, if I just went, oh, here's my description. I'm the best cake baker on the planet. Yeah, I'm great. Save it, and then what I should get is, there it is. There's my gibberish. So that's where they would fill in their stuff. All right, and then their payments. So they could see the payment history right here, and then which membership they want, the first one or the second one. All right, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it in terms of the front end. We're about 7 minutes now, so it's probably going to be a good 15 minutes. I guess I slightly underestimated the time it would take. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper in the back end. I went over the adding categories for you. So let's actually get into the theme options section that actually sets up the vendor section. All right, over on the left, the very bottom, we have theme options. And then we want to find is vendors. There's a lot of stuff, but I have to go over it so you at least know that it's here. Right now, I have all the basic stuff set up, and basically it's self-explanatory. I wouldn't really worry about any of these things. I wouldn't change it. Maybe you might want to change redirect after login. So basically, what this is when I log in, where does it go? Right now, we go to the overview page. I don't know why you'd want to change that, but maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you want to have them go to the home page. I don't know. Registration. Okay, right in here you have moderation. Whether you want to act when someone signs up for an account, do you want to sign up? Do you want to moderate it? I mean, approve it. And I can tell you right now, it causes problems to people. We have this because people requested it, but it causes problems because what's going to happen is people have to wait for you to approve it before they get in. People are going to go try to sign in, and then they can't get in, and they're just going to say basically contact you saying, "Why I need to get in." So now you're getting double emails, and you're getting I think it's a pain in the butt, but maybe you want it. We have it off. This is all pretty much self-explanatory. I don't think you need to mess with any of this. Your login text. We've set this up to default. You can change these things if you want, messages and stuff. I don't think you really need to worry about that. Layout. This is how vendors are laid out. You want them randomly set up on the page. It's going to show up by date, by name. Drop-down style with a thumbnail, without thumbnail. So basically, a thumbnail can show up next to the vendor category. So if it says like cakes, it's going to have a small little picture of a cake next to it. One of our demos has it. I think the Elegance one has on our site. If you go to it, it's in there. Up to you. Number of max categories, blah, 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 blah. This is self-explanatory. Payments. This is really important. You want to pay attention here. That's this right here. One option and first option, second option. All right, so we just have some generic stuff in there. I have, do you want recurring payments? Yes or no, meaning it's going to bill them whatever, every year, every month, whatever you set up. How long, this is your title. That's, clearly right here. And then your description. All right, and then how long for the first period? Is it 1 year? Is it 6 months? Is it 2 years? These are the options we have, so it's got to be, one of these 5. The amount, right now it's testing, it's 1 cent. Your second payment title, that description, how long. So you're obviously going to want to come fill this section out. I don't know what you're doing or what you want to do. PayPal, that's the token ID that you gave me. I wouldn't mess with that. Vendors pages, I've set all this up. I strongly and highly advise you to stay away from this. Don't mess with it. It's a specific order with specific pages, and you could totally screw it up. Here's an extra category. If you're going to have extra categories, basically meaning a subcategory. So under photographers, there's wedding photographers. I don't know. That's what that is. So I don't know if you're just going to have general level or sub-levels. Okay? So that is basically it. Like I said, I have another, if you go to our website, the Premium Wedding Themes website, and find the Elegance demo, and the menu there is a video tutorials, and there's one that goes over just the section for the vendors. So if you get lost, you can watch that. Oh, I forgot something. Under vendors, you can actually create vendors. And this looks, or works, I shouldn't say looks, but it's pretty much the same thing as the business profile where someone logs in and they add all their information. You can manually create people. Make sure you add the date, so when it's valid for. If you leave this blank, it's not going to work. But everything else is the same. Email, password, your logos, your photos, your company information. So you could manually add somebody. Whoops, wrong one. Vendors. Here's your listing of vendors, and you can see who's paid, who's not paid. It's color coded, and when people are getting close to expiration, this actually will change colors. The color coding will be in line with whether they're about to expire, they've paid, haven't paid, that kind of a thing. And what you can do is you can see the names, and you can actually edit, delete, deactivate them if you want to. You can look at their payments. Here's the profile information. So you can do a lot with inside this vendor category, this vendor section. Alright, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to send you over the login page, the vendor page in an email when I send this over to you. And what you're going to want to do is when you're ready to launch this is add this. I'm assuming you're going to add it to your main menu. You can obviously add it to other places. But for instance, if you wanted to, you know, how much space you have in you should have space. So let's see, vendor members login, add that to the menu. I'm going to take this out, but I just want to show it real fast. Here's members login. You'd want to do something like that and kind of go from there. Alright, so I hope that makes sense.